Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend D.G. Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks podcast.
Batman, my favorite character.
Oh, don't even get me started. We invite Ray to come review this movie, and he stands us
up. That's right, kids. Welcome back to We Are the Night, the Vengeance podcast.
Vengeance is dead. Vengeance is dead, Phil. Let it go.
Yeah.
I am Phil. Joining me, as always, she who will slice a grown man's face up. No, it's not Selena Cow. It's Lilith Hellfire.
Hey, y'all. It's Lilith Hellfire. Sup?
And our special guest, Cinema Foul himself, Mr. Jersey. It is
Charlie, the Professor Esser. And I have never been convicted of being a cinephile, so let's just be clear here.
Movie professor, it is.
I'm moving.
That's right, Ray. Don't expect us to talk about Moon Knight.
It's coming, man. There's so much joy to come from Moon Knight, so don't.
Oh, I know. Oh no. Oh yeah.
Well, all eight episodes are going to be equivalent to this movie, so.
Is it 8? I think it's only going to be 6. So.
Oh, definitely. Then we got about the same amount of runtime here.
And I bet you we'll have just as good of an arc, because that's what I mean. If I can say for this was a decent Batman film with a good arc for his character. It took them long enough to get there, but, by the end, it's like, okay, I'm satisfied. This was a decent take on Gotham's Dark Knight. We got a nice evolution of his character from rich, privileged idiot to who likes punching poor people to someone who says, oh, maybe I'm just kind of being a harsh, judgy douche.
And I mean,
that's good. That's good. That growth of a character.
I mean, it's a decent Batman movie, and I guess maybe in comparison to what came right, the Snyder stuff, it looks even better. And for the first time, we got a Batman movie where 1, we didn't see cheap pearls walk, and 2, he didn't tell anyone he was Batman. It's like we know he's Batman by this point. We don't need to tell everybody.
Yeah. This is year 2 in it, and so the newspapers have already called him the Batman, as they say, and so that it's fine, and it plays with the idea of him creating his own villains, as it were. But then it's arguable that the villains had already created themselves. You don't need to create a villain if they're already created.
I mean, they were pretty much all created. I mean, maybe Selena might have taken inspiration with the suit, but it's like the only one who really claimed that Batman, gave him inspiration was the Riddler.
Yeah, but even him, he wasn't well to start with.
Oh no.
He could have just as easily picked up a copy of Black Adam magazine and said, "Yes, I will be the Black Adam," and that is how I can be vengeance. So yeah, he didn't need much. Really, you could even argue that he could have been just as easily inspired by Commissioner Gordon. But
I did like our Gordon. I did like our Gordon we got in this movie.
Yeah, that's I'm blinking on his name.
Jeffrey Wright.
Yes.
Jeffrey Wright. Yeah. Oh, the Watcher. Yes. I thought his voice sounded familiar. Yes, Jeffrey Wright is the Watcher. I'm sorry, as Commissioner Gordon. And man, that's the question. Who's the better Gordon, J. Jonah Jameson or the Watcher? Because let's be honest. I mean, I think it's almost a toss up, and if nothing else, it definitely sits this in another universe.
Yeah.
Although I gotta say, I just want to toss this out here. When we get Batman 2, do you think Gordon's married to the mayor, and they're going to have a baby Barbara on the way, or
I
maybe
mean,
already have a little 3-year-old baby Barbara running around.
this
I
is
don't think they're gonna touch that because we have a Batgirl movie coming, and I don't think Jeffrey Wright is actually in that. So it's a different
Okay,
universe
well,
yet again.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be in it, but I was going to say, wasn't he like older, like significantly older than the mayor? So I didn't.
It's
Well,
Gotham.
yeah.
Nobody would bat an eyelash.
Oh,
for him.
true.
Yeah, and he's wearing a piece in this, so he's got the hairpiece. He could be 42 for all we know. And the mayor might be younger, but again, May December romances. Not saying it's a fair system, but people
yeah.
don't worry as much in this world.
Oh no, I know women who date younger men.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
it's yeah, roll your eyes. But no,
Yeah.
I know Lilith was saying, and I agree with her. I mean, I enjoyed the movie for the most part. It's almost 3 hours long, kids. It didn't feel 3 hours to me. But there are points where, like Lil said, you probably could have trimmed the time. Like that opening scene with like Riddler watching like the mayor, like that went on way too long for my taste. I was like, okay, we get it, creepy guy. Just okay.
Yeah. Oh, can I just say I'm really glad that they there were many times, especially with the Riddler character, where I felt, oh, this is Sigmund Freud's The Batman, where everything about the Riddler is so eroticized. Every groan he makes, and even that first scene, and he's fumbling with the tape right at his crotch, and it's a crotch shot of him on the mayor, and it's like, okay, Riddler, I can see. Apparently, my fan theory was right. He's gonna put on a gimp mask and be the Riddler, and that's how he gets his jollies. Ooh.
Charlie caught him months ago.
Oh,
It's all rape and murder.
I know.
Oh, I'm gonna wear a gimp mask and murder people.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
Oh,
look,
rape and murder! I'll tell you that.
what I will tell you is that most really that's the thing, and that's the thing about Freudianism in general. It's like you can't apply everything as sex to every mental disorder you have. But if you're like a middle class person who's suddenly very acting weird, it's probably in some way sexual, especially with the idea of either feeling powerless and as such desexualized, or wanting to assert dominance sexually. It's like very few, like
I think the Riddler would have given Batman whatever he wanted. Yeah.
Oh no, totally, and I certainly hope he was wearing 2 pair of underwear. That's all I'm saying. Because you could tell he was like, and honestly, the direction on the Riddler was just so uncomfortable at times.
That's the point.
It's like, and I don't know how that actor normally looks, but it really looked to me like they superimposed the face of Cousin Oliver on that actor's face when they finally do the reveal.
I mean, they gave him the good big glasses. They gave him the horrible haircut. Yeah, I'm sure.
I know they really baby faced him up. I and if that's actually how that actor look, dude, I'm sure there's lots of work for you. But
I mean, I do like that, but Batman really never laid a hand on him. It was all like a mental game with them, and then eventually it's the police, who actually slam him down on the counter and slap the cuffs on him.
Well, yeah. Although it's kind of sad that this is kind of the Earth 3 Batman, which is if you got the most recent episode of Suicide Squad, they realize that, oh my gosh, Earth 3 Batman is an idiot. He's not a super genius with a plan to take out every member of the Injustice Society. He's just a rich guy with a lot of great gadgets who's good at punching people.
I thought he had enough good Batman moments, but he wasn't Bat God, which I kind of liked. It's like, this guy could be taken down and stuff, and
yeah, and again, just
scenes.
Yeah,
No, the idiot. Okay, I'm sorry. I'd say I don't know if he's an idiot or just naive, but I think Thomas Wayne was the idiot. It's just like, oh no, I'm gonna go to this mobster and ask him to shake somebody down, and I know I can trust him not to kill somebody, kill the reporter.
No.
Yeah, no, that was
Thomas Wayne's always been the villain.
why would this mobster want blackmail material on one of the richest people in the city? No, he would never want. No, even though I saved his life, he would never do that to me. No.
I really like that they did make it like we really have no idea if Wayne's murderer was some orchestrated plot or just
that's
some
just like the
random
Joker's identity. That's something we should never know. Like the whole Joe Chill thing, we've been thrown that out the window because that was not a good idea.
They keep going back and forth with that in the comics, and now I think they keep in the gray.
But with Quarter Owls, it's always got to be a grand conspiracy. That is the main jux.
But I'm glad they didn't go Court of Owls with this. And they really did nothing to imply that. I mean, they did the Arkhams and the Waynes are these old families, but that's all they really said about them. And that, quite frankly, the fact that Martha's mom, killed her husband. We don't know why she killed her husband or killed herself. It could have been any number of reasons.
Well, she was a 1950s housewife. It was just the medication dosage was probably off.
And quite frankly, the fact that Martha had times in the asylum really isn't that horrific as it sounds.
Men used to leave their wives in asylums, so we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
That's what I'm saying. As blackmail,
she did better than BoJack Horseman's mom. So
I
not BoJack Horseman's mom, but his grandmom. So
I did think that too. That was kind of weird as like blackmail material, because couldn't you turn that around and be like, oh man, this reporter's like basically menacing my wife, with her, mental about her mental disorder and stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, they only had 3 hours, Phil.
I know.
And then the movie couldn't happen. If the characters behaved rationally, then the movie doesn't happen.
But yeah,
because really, the idea of trying to buy him off was also a dumb move too. Because the reality is, it's okay. Someone has factual reporting about your family. The way you deal with that in a political campaign is you get out ahead of it. Yeah. And you make a statement of, I've always stood by my wife. She has had struggles, but, we are a stronger family because we have endured struggles, just like the people of Gotham.
But
and that's how
the real elephant in the room is, since Alfred's so diehard, he should have been the one to kill the reporter and never gave that guy the chance to have the blackmail. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, all over the place. What? And again, that's like the weirdest thing with like Alfred. It was my job to protect him. Then why weren't you, dude? You think I just annoyed 2 mobsters that you know of? But I'm gonna go. It's my day off, man. I got tickets for something.
But do you think if Alfred thinks, oh hey, if I kill this reporter and then someone finds out about it, I've sung Thomas.
He's spycraft. He would not. This is the whole
thing.
We all know. Like, Alfred's got the scar on the face. We know where they're pulling all that from. So it's just like, it's a moot point for me. That really pissed me off.
He didn't even mention like any military service. Didn't he even say he was in the circus or something?
Oh yeah, he's
not my monkey, not my circus. Okay,
that was an interesting thing because I remember my days in the circus. But that could also be code word.
Yes.
Code word,
true.
As far as I know, they don't do a lot of encryption in circuses.
Yes, that company he worked for. Okay, okay.
Yeah, that circus.
I do like Andy Serkis's Alfred. I think he's my favorite Alfred, right under Michael Caine. So I hope we have more work for him to do in the next movie, the next 2 movies.
Yeah, and some of the stuff from this movie was from that Batman Earth 1, and yeah, he really.
We had Batman Earth 1, Batman Long Halloween, Batman Year 100. We had a lot of different.
There was a lot of Easter eggs. At the end, when she calls him Bat and Cat, that's from Tom King's run. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, this is something I was saying when I was talking about the movie with my son and father-in-law after we went to it. Was one of the best things about Batman is it is kind of a choose your own adventure with Batman. Where any version of Batman you want to say exists, there's a version of it in the comics that has existed over the years.
Hey, what did Mark Waid say? Batman's like the one character that.
Oh no! Yeah, literally for real. Batman is the character in fiction who's had more stories written about.
It was probably Sherlock Holmes before him, though. Yeah.
What?
Probably Sherlock Holmes before him.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, but I don't know. Actually, Sherlock Holmes. I don't know if Sherlock Holmes ever had a comic book where they're doing stories once a month,
Well, in the newspaper, his stories were published. I don't know.
Well, no, I know that, but it's the idea of, when you get to the sheer volume of stories that comic book characters encompass.
Yeah, I mean, and
That's
now
a
I mean, Batman's
huge
every
weight of
week pretty
books.
much.
Yeah.
In all the books.
You know. But yeah,
Look, I'm just gonna say it. I hated the movie. I don't get it. I don't get the hype. I don't know. It's just pure fanboy hype is what this movie's riding on. And I like Robert Pattinson. I do. And I was just like, not my Batman. Give me Affleck back, not my Batman.
I liked his Batman more than his Bruce Wayne. I really wasn't feeling.
There was no Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne spoke like 5 words. I get it. It's the Batman. I get it.
Yeah. Well, this is a very tortured Bruce Wayne who. We
heard the Nirvana.
What I'm going to say is that's the idea, and this is, I think, the evolution of the Batman in this story. Is like when the Riddler says, you think you're wearing a mask. I know I'm looking at the real you, and I think that's sort of like where that sort of like makes him take a stock of himself. Is like, whoa, where have I gone wrong with my life?
But
why am I dressed like a bat?
It's gonna be true. That's in his head. He's Batman. Everybody knows.
No. Only in some versions of the story. That's like saying that, again, when you have this much canon,
modern Batman, there is no such thing as Bruce. Why was Batman and Catwoman getting married, not Bruce and Selena? Just think about it. It's no Bruce Wayne.
Well, I don't think that on the invitations it said Batman and Catwoman. I think it said Bruce Wayne and Selena.
No, it didn't. It was literally Batman and Catwoman getting married.
I don't think they sent out invitations.
For the advertisements, yes. Not for the actual invitations in the story. That's what I'm saying. This idea that Bruce Wayne is... I mean, here's what you could say is Bruce Wayne is Batman and Batman is Bruce Wayne. Meaning that the real person you want to be is that Batman that can put on the suit when he needs to, because that's a purpose, or he can put on the actual suit when he needs to and accomplish what he needs to. And this is the thing, like when in the middle of it, when Bruce Wayne goes to the Iceberg Lounge and the 40 Below Club, he walks in as Bruce Wayne and there's no problem. Everyone's like, oh, Bruce Wayne, come on in. Yeah. And it's like, if you wanted to infiltrate this place, wouldn't this have been the smarter play from the start?
I was waiting on Matches Malone, to be honest. So
I was worried when he got into that cab, when anyone got into a cab, that there was going to be Matches Malone. But
this isn't Moon Knight. This is not. We're safe. It's not Moon Knight. Yeah. It's not Constantine.
I'm sure Matches has driven a cab at some point in his many adventures. I'm sure. I don't know. But yeah. But and of course this predates Matches Malone too. I don't think Batman has gotten that deep into his own adventures as yet,
But yeah, no, they were beating you over the head with the whole thing. It's like, oh yeah, there really is a Bruce Wayne, because just everyone, it's like, oh, what are you doing with your money? You haven't done anything with your money, and it's like,
yeah, that's the criticism that everybody has for Batman nowadays. What's Jeff Bezos doing with his money besides going into space in a penis rocket? Leave the boy alone.
Well, and except that Jeff Bezos isn't saying he's out there trying to save the world.
Well, Bruce Wayne never said that. He's in his ivory tower, locked away. Doesn't care about Gotham.
I guess the counter argument is Bruce Wayne gets as much argument about why aren't you spending your billions to help Gotham, as Jeff Bezos does, because every billionaire gets that question thrown at them. Just most billionaires don't care.
And Bruce really doesn't.
I just think
he's too busy beating up people at night. I'm sorry.
After that ending of
he needs therapy.
After that,
Alfred needs to send him to therapy.
Oh yeah, well that's the other thing too.
I don't care if I live or die. I don't care about the legacy. Okay.
With going with the year one version, where now his mother was a Arkham instead of a kid.
Boo! Tomato.
I'm just saying that now you can go down that road. It's like, okay, is Batman his holy mission, or is that just like a mental disorder because that runs in that side of the family?
Lock him up.
No, but that's the thing. First off, that's the thing about mental disorders, especially not for nothing. Mental disorders among women. So often it is just, she seems to have a case of the uppityness. And that is what gets you locked away in a sanitarium, especially if you're of the upper class, quite frankly.
No embarrassments, yep.
That is not the way a proper young lady behaves. So I can see certain Aunt Harriet's just locking her away for that.
A couple hundred years ago, they would have been throwing holy water on Lilith Hellfire.
Yeah, that's a whole other bag of hammers. But anyway, but this is the thing. I did not like that choice, especially because there was no build up to Arkham in it. And it really seemed super fan servicey and kind of like, this will come back later, kids. So write this down. I even think they used the Arkham font when they said the Arkhams and the Waynes. It's like, really? It seemed way too like that. That is one of those moments where the
was actually a family. I just thought that was the name of the city not the city, but the place that Arkham was in, or like Arkham Studios.
Well, yeah. Well, it wasn't until it was, because that's the thing. It was originally, it's Arkham Asylum because it's an H.P. Lovecraft reference to Arkham, Massachusetts.
But
And then
also
somewhere along
Jacob
this,
Arkham, yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah, and somewhere along the line, someone decided that it was going to be. I don't know when they first introduced Arkham Asylum, or if there was an Arkham associated with it when it was first introduced. Since then, they've built out characters and things like that, and that's the idea. Is they're going to say Martha Wayne is, Arkham. Now, who's playing Thomas Wayne in this?
I don't care. It wasn't Jeffrey Dean Morgan, so I don't care.
Okay. Well, we may get him in Flashpoint. That's the only reason I bring this kind of stuff up. Is like, who's coming back? Because I mean, that's the thing here. And before this, maybe you got it too, where we got the whole 2022, the year of the DC movies, and you kind of
it's not even movies though. It's
well,
like they're spinning out TV shows for this. Flashpoint, whatever. But yeah, they're spinning off. Supposedly there's a Catwoman TV show in the works. There's definitely GCPD in the works, and then they also had another untitled one that's going to be spinning out of this. So they're really just trying to have that Marvel effect of the TV shows and the movies are all just.
Well, no, but before my movie, they had like after the pre-credits, they had like a special DC The World Needs Heroes 2022 teaser, and they had Black Adam, they had Batman, and they had Flashpoint, and they had Aquaman. So they clearly were trying to imply that these are the 4 movies that are coming out this year. Watch for them, enjoy them, and give us your money. And there is the implication in that, arguably, that there is going to be some weaving into this. In fact, Tristan even pointed out that there's a line in there where they say, "So, are you in with us?" Where, like, I think Aquaman says that to someone, we don't see who. So,
boy, we didn't get that in our theater. We got a Morbius and a Doctor Strange trailer.
Oh, I did not get a Morbius, although I got in a little. I mean, there was like 22 minutes of trailers.
Oh yeah.
Actually, might have even been 30 minutes of trailers.
I was gonna say there's always at least 15 at ours. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
If you're at AMC, it's literally exactly 20 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, so did any of you go to AMC? I didn't go. Mine's not in AMC.
Yeah, I did, and it was the same price.
Did you pay
as
extra?
Usual.
Oh no, they didn't.
No, I mean, it even said 30% off. So I don't know if it's. I don't know if we had gone to the non-matinee, it would be higher, but it was like, it was like 8, 9, and 10 for me and Woody and the kid. So,
yeah, we went to the first show today.
Yeah, so that I mean, yeah, and it was fine, not a not overpacked theater, which was nice.
Mm-hmm.
We had our popcorn and our drink, and it was good.
Speaking of that, it only made $128.5 million, but it's still the second biggest pandemic. Post-pandemic.
I thought like 2. Oh, is that domestic? Okay.
Yeah, domestic.
They made like 2 something worldwide, but they said I don't think it's hit China yet. Of course, it's not in Russia yet. So.
Yeah. Well,
Russia's never been a big moneymaker anyway. So.
Yeah, but I think they said it hasn't hit China yet. So.
Yeah. And that's fine. We'll see if China allows it or.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I mean, we're Hollywood's breaking up with China, so they're going to have to stop relying on those numbers anyway. They're going to stop catering allegedly, so we'll see.
Yeah, well, because it's getting harder, and because the point is, there's no point in catering to China if they're going to just ban it anyway. So it's like, you know what? If we don't have to, if you're not going to let us do Shang-Chi, then, we don't even know what we're doing here, China. So, vaya con Dios, my darling,
I did like that we got like a somewhat comic accurate Batman, where it's like not only was he not killing people or branding people to get killed in prison, Batfleck, but it's like they didn't even go the Nolan way, where it's like, I don't have to save you, but I have to kill you, but I'm not going to save you either. I mean, he actively stopped people from killing, like Selena and
We'll see how long that lasts.
I mean, he thought Carmine Falcone might have had something to do with his parents' death, and he was still going to slap the cuffs.
His dumbass brought him into the light, though. So it's like,
I know.
Well, yeah, because he's not the smartest Batman ever yet. You
give us a detective story, and he's just like, Alrata, and I'm just like, you suck. Yes, you don't know Spanish, basic Spanish. Thank you, Penguin.
Well, no, but and that's of course even a joke, because even Alfred points out that he has awful Spanish.
Exactly. Couldn't be about you.
But the actual thing of this is that, and this is, I think, is one of the biggest things with the Riddler is having conversations that no one else is a part of. And that's the real thing. It's like he thinks, you see, it's all so simple. And it's like, and like the last one is this is my confession. It's like a bunch of lines that I'm sure there's something to it, but it honestly just looks like scrawls, and it's asking a lot of someone to do that. I mean, like the simplest, like
the guy had to tell him it was a carpet turner. Like, come on.
Yeah, it was.
Well, that's what you get when you're rich and privileged. You don't know
exactly. He's not doing manual. He's never done manual labor probably a day in his life, though.
Yeah. Have you seen that skin? He's never been outside a day in his life in the daytime.
Yeah.
He's a vampire, man.
And dear Stephanie Meyer, you said that vampires don't turn into bats. We're gonna have to have a talk.
Oh my. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I enjoyed it. It's a solid film from my perspective.
I like the idea of Catwoman, but when she had that accent, I was like, immediately no. Somebody get the spray bottle. No more Harley Quinn bad accents. Stop it.
Oh, what was wrong with her accent?
I hate it. It's dumb.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's dumb.
I didn't even notice anything about her accent. I just thought it sounded like...
As somebody who is very familiar with Zoe Kravitz, I was like, no. Immediately no. Stop it.
Okay. I guess I didn't notice that wasn't Zoe Kravitz's natural voice, so...
But yeah,
at least the wigs were... Well, she did have like 3 struggle wigs, but I guess it was intentional.
Well, yeah.
She was just rocking her wig game, and it's not like she's just rolling in dough, and she has to move in these wigs too, so, it's... these are wigs that you count on low lighting in the club, It's
gave me Alias flashbacks.
Yes, Lil. She's going to meet certain gentlemen who probably aren't going to be looking at her face.
Yeah. True, and but they did kill Carmine, which that surprised me.
It was John Turturro. I was like, how dare you? You killed Colin Farrell. You don't kill John Turturro. How dare you?
Especially after
he has his spinoff show, so it was already we knew he was going to be living through it. So
especially after we did the long Halloween scratch down the face too, I was like, oh, maybe he'll be around for a while.
Yeah, but he was her dad, so he had.
I mean, hey, unless they do some kind of flashback thing or something, or
Yeah, well, you can always do flashbacks. That's it. You can go back.
Yeah, John Turturro hasn't aged in 20 years, so we'll be fine. He's had that same aged look since like he started Hollywood, so we're fine.
And they can always just re-up it, just like they did with Q in Picard this week. So
did you watch it finally?
That wasn't the best, but okay.
Well, it only needed the last 2 seconds. Come on.
Exactly. That's the thing. It was like, good enough for Paramount.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. Let me catch up with you.
We acknowledged it.
Which Phil called. So
I want Picard to feel bad.
That's how they would handle that.
But no, I thought Zoe Kravitz did a good job. I know we already knew about the spinoff, but then the minute she's talking about going to Bloodhaven, I was like, okay, yep, definite spinoff.
Okay, by the 3rd movie, the mayor's kid, the old mayor's kid's gonna be a Robin. Mark my words. He loves an orphan.
What did they say the kid's name was? Did
they say?
Did he even have a name?
I don't know if they.
I thought they said, and I thought it was Tim, but I was like, well, but it was like, was it Little Dick? Little, because it's like, well, I'm going by my mom's name since there was so much scandal with my dad, so I'm just Dick Grayson now. But they intentionally want you to think that because they had
Rick Grayson.
Yeah, they had the little scene of him in his little red ninja costume. After he found his dead
he
father.
was a ninja. Yeah.
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 Maybe his name is Jason.
Yeah. Well,
maybe he comes a delinquent. Who knows?
Stealing the tires off the Batmobile. Oh, this is one thing I gotta give this film real credit for, which is it was the first one to acknowledge that if you are a city-based vigilante, cars are not your best mode of transit usually. That it's only in very specific situations where you can utilize a car. So I was very pleased that he got around mostly on a motorcycle. Didn't have a bat.
On the bat cycle.
Didn't have the bat bike until the end. In the end, he has a bat bike, but prior to that, he's just on the motorcycle. Although, and again, I mean, there's a lot of Captain America's shield kind of thing there, where it's like, it's under his jacket. It's like, really, that armored plated uniform is under that outfit. At least Cap usually has like a big bulky jacket when he pulls his shield.
What do you want from him?
Yeah, it was interesting. I'll say that. Giving himself the adrenaline punch.
No, that was Venom because it was green.
I was gonna say, was that Venom?
Venom.
Was that Venom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I would thought it might have been.
Yeah.
So we could do the addiction storyline next.
I think the third movie is going to be a war of jokes and riddles, but the second movie is going to definitely be the Mr. Freeze thing that Matt Reeves is obsessed with. So.
Oh, really?
Oh, what's he want to do with Mr. Freeze?
He was like most people like my age and older, like who watch the Tim universe. They love that sympathetic story that they did for Mr. Freeze. So he probably wants to bring that particular thing to live action.
And stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Get rid of the Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Oh, it was the same story in the Arnold Schwarzenegger one too. So.
Nice to meet you.
Not as well done though. Not as well done.
Not as well done. But it's yeah.
But no, yeah. If they do that for the third one, I mean, that would be interesting. A Riddler Joker.
Because we got the Joker or John Doe.
Oh yeah, what's his face?
Just pee on me and tell me it's raining.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Tristan were trying to figure out.
I don't want to the Joker. Sure, you know.
Was he wearing a mask in that?
It was prosthetics. It was prosthetics. Yeah.
It was prosthetics. So, which was weird. I don't know. I didn't like it.
There's a deleted scene that'll be out in a week that'll explain it a little bit more if you actually care about this Joker. So.
Well, I mean, I found it interesting, but I just want to know why he was wearing prosthetics. Because it looked like he was wearing a rubber Richard.
Well, he's supposed to be burned from what we're supposed to assume is Ace chemicals because his hair's got that little bit of green and the whole thing. So, yeah.
Okay. I'll go along with it. Sure, why not?
It's like just let the Joker be, bro. Let Joaquin and Heath have it, bro. Just leave it alone.
Even if he's not in the first movie, they always have to at least hint at the Joker by the first.
He's already locked up.
Remember at the end of Batman Begins, man? It's like, oh, here's a new guy. And
here's your calling card.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Joker, but I mean, it's fine. It was a nice enough Joker. Although Tristan was wondering if it was Jerome.
That is the version that they seem like they might be going with because there is still another Batverse going on that they haven't settled yet that might have to be some contractual obligations filled. So maybe they can't just use that specific Joker. So
someone might have to run from the Morbius premiere to fulfill their contractual obligation to be Joker one more time.
And Ben Affleck. So if he doesn't show up in the Flashpoint, I'm like, please show up in the Flashpoint, please. I do not want this to linger. I don't need that to linger. They need to either pay him or put him somewhere to fill that contractual obligation.
There's Ben Affleck going to show up in Black Adam.
I'm already not excited for that movie, but I wasn't going to see that movie anyway. So yeah, sure, throw it in.
Oh, hey, did anyone see the trailer for the Colonel Tom Parker film by Baz Luhrmann with Elvis?
I don't know.
I know what you're talking about. Nah, I saw it on YouTube. It didn't.
It looked really good, but like for a minute there, I was like, "Wait, is this like somehow tied into Black Adam?" Because you just see with this little kid with this little lightning bolt on his chest, and it's like, you know, and then it was it just really struck me as weird that it's like there was a lot of like Black Adam imagery in that, so I was a little confused by it. But Tom Hanks looks great in all of his big fat man prosthetic makeup. Makes a great Colonel Tom Parker. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing the Colonel Tom Parker story from Colonel Tom's point of view, because it even opens up. Most people think I'm the villain of this story, so it was a lot of fun.
Because you are.
Oh, hey.
Although you have to give him his agency. But let's talk about Colin Farrell. How did we like him as the Penguin?
Oh, I loved him as the Penguin.
I thought he did a good job. Yeah,
he did a
I
fantastic
was like, finally, he
job.
can live down freaking
Bullseye.
Yes.
Well, I think he could have done. I think this is a situation where people were afraid, much like Elvis, they were afraid to let him act. Said, no, you don't do that. You're a crazy Irishman who punches people. That's who you are. That's what you play. And I think they could have asked him to be a more traditional
Penguin.
Bullseye in the original Daredevil, but they said no one's going to believe that. You be what we're paying you to be. And I think this was one because of the prosthetics that he just said no. He said
he almost got kicked off a set because they didn't realize.
They
When the first day he showed
I know. If you look at him, you don't know that.
They were like, what the hell's Richard Kind doing here? Get out of here. It's a closed set, pal.
No, but he was fantastic. And I'm really looking forward to seeing more of his Penguin. I heard that there is supposed to be a
the
Penguin
TV show.
series.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Because it's a power vacuum that, like she said, and that's what we're going to discuss, his rise. Because he goes by Oz. He really hates people calling him Penguin. He hasn't embraced it yet. So this is his rise to like really fulfilling that power vacuum that just happened. So that's the way that I understand that new show is going to be
I'm
about.
here for Rise of the Penguin. I really am.
Yeah, no, it was good. I like that. I like that car chase scene and everything.
Well, no CGI, so.
I know, man. They really jumped the car to fire. Yeah, I know.
Again, literally, the Penguin just killed a bunch of people. Why did they just leave him there? I mean, bring him in for like reckless driving. You're still a cop. You're still a cop, Gordon.
Gordon has bigger fish to fry right now. Okay.
People died, Lilith. A tanker truck exploded on the freeway.
Bro, it's Gotham. That happens every day, man.
I don't think so.
Unless he's just like, hey, if I bring him in, the Riddler might have him killed or something. I don't know.
I don't think that's an excuse.
The cops are bad at their job in Gotham. That's why Batman even exists and gets allowed access to the crime scene. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know. That just I did not think that after that car chase, that Joker just being left to waddle away made much sense.
Oh my God, Lil. But that scene in the beginning when he goes to the crime scene in the beginning of the movie, I was waiting for that scene from Shadow the Bat where the cop's just like, no, you can't come in here. And I was just waiting for Pattinson to spin him around and like put his own handcuffs on him.
I thought he was going to do it at the precinct too.
I know.
You got into that fight?
Oh yeah, man. He's pushing them cops. Punch me in the face, make it look great. I want that elevator.
Like, you could have pulled your punch. He's like, I did. You're just an old man.
I'm wearing these big gloves. What do you think I did?
Yeah. I don't know. It was like, and again, these are these little things that like pull you out of the story, and at times, which I think is to its detriment. And I think maybe because they had so much space, they didn't do enough economy of storytelling.
And where was this bat? Where was the bat scene? Was it on like a abandoned building or something under construction? Because it didn't seem like it was at police headquarters, did it?
No, it wasn't.
It was very odd.
Only Gordon had access to it,
It was like a half-built building.
Now it's a little creepy. I don't think that I can ship it. That age gap's just a little too much for me.
Which one?
What, between Batman and Gordon?
Yeah, just a little too much for me.
Yeah, they're both technically adults. So
I know, but age gaps are icky. A lot of the big age gaps, are icky, no matter what it is. 20
for
years
other
is a
people.
lot. I drew the line at 10.
That's a billionaire and his wife.
Exactly.
I'm just like I said, and things like that. Like, where was the bat signal? Because again, it seems to be in a building.
I don't know. It had the renewal fund all over it, so there's your first clue.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. Is like, how does Bruce not have any? How does Bruce nor Alfred have any real knowledge of what's being done with the renewal fund? How is this just allowed to be a private slush fund for the fathers of Gotham?
Court of Owls. Court of Owls.
Yeah, but it just seems like
mark my words.
Is there like a Wayne board or something who's supposed to be in charge of that?
Exactly.
Maybe?
Remember?
Yeah,
we
but
been through this before.
And again, like I said, it just seems like this should have been. Look, when Bruce is a teenager in the Gotham series, you sort of understand why the board is sort of like, being nice to the boy prince, even as they're running all the corruption in Gotham. Like, by the time the guy turned 21, you'd think one of the first things he might have done was like, well, let's look at the books instead of avoiding meetings with the accountants.
Well, I think that was
like, you think, but like if he had spent those 2 years meeting with the accountants and saying, "Hey, there is something really funny about these books for this renewal plan. It looks like you guys have just. I don't see where this money is going."
You look around Gotham and you're like,
well,
everything's burnt down.
Yeah, well, I think that was the point. It's like Bruce wasn't getting involved; he was just in his own little Batman bubble, and they don't have to answer to Alfred.
Crazy.
Alfred shows up, they're like, "You're the family butler. We don't have to tell you jack." And then
he's technically his guardian, and most rich people don't actually get their full trust fund until they're at least 30. So they get a little chunk at 18, 21, 25, and then the main gist of it at 30.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say, and he on.
So he's probably like his what do they call it? His executor or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
but if he is the executor, then he's the executor, and then he would have.
But even they have limits to things that they're privy to, like corporate stuff.
And any honest accountant or anything was probably getting their bonus and a sea voyage. So yeah.
Well, all I'm saying is that the accountants were coming to meet with Bruce that day. So if the accountants are coming over, if the accountants care that he's spending money on Batmobiles, they're probably going to care about
I mean, he
well,
only
his
had
trust fund money is completely separate from the company money. So,
and he only had one Batmobile. Swear to God, Lilith Hellfire had more cars than this Bruce Wayne. Come on.
I mean, meanwhile, the mayor's just rolling in them. Like, jeez.
I know.
That was just such a dumb clue.
Thumb drive.
Oh, thumb drive. I know.
Oh,
it's dark humor. It's fine. It's fine. It's what Matt Reeves does best.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Again, the Riddler was insane. So of course, thumb drive.
Yeah. But
Gordon should have been fired since technically all that leaked information did come from his email. Just saying.
But I guess if you go through a hearing or something, you could be like, "Oh, hey, Riddler left this thing.
It's still
you open the file, it gets thrown out or whatever."
It was like chain of evidence, the whole thing. So like. It's a mess. Gotham is a mess.
It is a mess. It is absolutely a mess. But he also has union protection, so you can't fire him.
Or again,
GCPD union would have been right there. You do not fire. Well, the detectives union. You do not fire this guy just because you allege this went out from his computer.
And again, plausible deniability, Lilith. Oh, hey, the Batman knocked me out and used my laptop.
Yeah.
Well, why are you such good friends with the Batman? First of all, he's a vigilante.
I was searching the crime scene and the Batman came up behind me, knocked me out, and stole my laptop.
But again, like, why are you doing this on your work laptop? I mean, it's like it's a drive from.
Ask Lilith Hellfire. Don't open certain files on your work computer.
Well, yeah, and it's like. It's possible that the drive was from the boss, and that's what I was half expecting. It was going to be from the mayor, and it was going to be his duplicitous dealings. But no, it was actually just stuff from the Riddler, which means if you think it's stuff from the Riddler, don't put it on your laptop because
it could have been like if you would have done it at the precinct, like it's connected to it could have been anything, a virus, anything. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
Didn't these people see, Avengers where Hawkeye takes out
Or at
the
least
whole
not Civil War, Black Widow, Captain America 2, Winter Soldier.
Yeah. But just the idea, you just put in one thumb drive and everything just shuts down. You can shut down the whole system from one spot. That's
it's almost as
the internet's in one city, Arrow?
It's almost as unbelievable as Lilith Hellfire throwing out a Winter Soldier reference.
What? I like Captain America 2 because it had Black Widow in it. It was her movie. Hashtag
yes, it
Feige.
was. She
We know why you like
she
Captain
really
America
carried that
too.
film. I'm not going to argue that.
I know why she liked Captain America too.
Chris Evans can get it all day, every day.
Until his true Boston lineage comes out, I will stand by him. Yes, I will.
Is he from Boston?
Yes.
From Boston.
He's been doing pretty good with it so far. So just fingers crossed. Don't be a Mark Wahlberg. Just fingers crossed.
He either has nothing on him or Disney has buried that so deep
They buried it so deep it don't even matter.
Maybe he's just a nice guy from Boston. They have nice people in Boston.
Not people originally from Boston.
I don't know.
You can at me. That's at Lilith Hellfire. I don't care. I said what I said.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, no, that's
They
like
don't
people
even
saying
have
there's
a
no
Boston
nice
pizza in Boston.
I know. That's highly suspicious.
Exactly.
Well, all pizza in Boston is Boston Pizza. Why would
I
you
thought that
open
was
a
Boston
place called
Pizza
Boston
owners.
Pizza in Boston?
There's an actual
Makes no
company, Boston
sense.
Pizza, and it's not in
Yeah, I
Boston.
know. There's a company called Boston Pizza, but we wouldn't sell. It's like you don't see Detroit style pizza in Detroit.
It's
all
called Little
pizza in
Caesars. Which confirms my suspicions that Gotham is in Detroit because who did they have a deal with? Little Caesars for the Bat Calzone.
There you go.
It's all connected, see?
Super connected.
Makes sense to me.
I love Batman.
Poor
That's it.
Ray. He's not going to hear this.
No.
Oh, but anyway, where were we? Do you want to give letter grades on this, or is there still more to talk about?
I was trying to think.
I was gonna say the end credit scene was it didn't feel like an end credit scene. It was just like, oh, the movie's ending here. Okay.
Oh, well, yeah,
Okay.
it's just a goodbye and they give
3
you the
hours
sound.
and this is it. I got blue balls over here, man.
Well, like I said, it was literally a thing so that when you record it and then you crack the code, it just says you are now under arrest from the FBI.
Well, did you guys go
violated
to the
copyright
website?
of this film by me. What?
Like if you go to the website,
Yeah, you have
there's
to go
lots of clues and
I know, but the fact of the matter is that that's the FBI's website. There's like, okay, so who recorded the whole thing? Who was recording the film before they were allowed to record the film? The FBI is just going to show up at your door tomorrow and is going to knock in your door, no knock warrant, arrest you, throw you in jail.
I'd heard about that whole end credit thing. I'm like, I didn't even sit there for it. The movie's over.
I
I'm
didn't,
like,
and I literally told everybody, you can leave now. It's not a Marvel movie. The person I was with died laughing, bro.
I know. I saw a couple people still sitting there. I was like, it's not worth
poor
it.
souls.
I'm just walking out the door going, it's not worth it.
Yeah. Well, I actually asked you guys, online. I said, hey, is it worth me to wait? Nobody said anything. So I said, well,
I didn't even see it, so I would have told you no.
That's
I
okay.
I didn't see it when you sent it. Yeah. By the time I saw
I'm glad I saw it just so I can say it was worthless. It's like, it was like, or like I said, that my real opinion is that, yeah, there's gonna be all this deconstruction of what that last few, like what the sound was, what, like you play it backwards and you translate it into Aramaic and this is what it actually says. And it's going to be like drink your Ovaltine, I mean, that's...
Wait for the Batman 2. Oh, boy.
Yeah, Batman will return and the Batman 2.
A crummy commercial. A crummy commercial? Son of a bitch.
Yeah, so anyway.
But no, Lilith, what did you think about the narration in the beginning, like Batman Year One?
Yeah, all I got were Arrow vibes. Like the fact that listen, the fact that he actually lost was so Arrow. I was like, oh, they blew up the city. Damn it. Now you got Batman trying to be Green Arrow. What the hell?
Didn't Gotham do that too? I think like now
I
it's just
gave up on Gotham, so I couldn't.
You have to blow up Gotham now. It's like Gotham. It's always.
Well, that leads into No Man's Land is my theory.
Exactly. And to me, it's kind of this thing like, wow. So like, what are you gonna do the next time? You've done all these stories already. It's like, Did you save anything for the next
Oh, there's
movie?
plenty of Batman stories to be told.
Well,
He's
again,
using
like
Venom allegedly, so we might see Bane. But I don't think he wants to tread in that Nolan territory because,
well, like you said,
for better or for worse, I still like the Nolan trilogy,
Yeah.
2 of the 3 movies anyway.
And like,
yeah. I mean,
like you said, Venom or Mr. Freeze, Court of Owls, yeah.
But it's like, you
We
know,
still
I
gotta
guess
get the Joker out of
from my
Arkham.
perspective, I've never found Bane that interesting of a villain.
Nobody has. He's a better Teen Titan villain. I say we swap him out for Teen Titan, give him the Teen Titans like they've been doing in like the animated and the comic books, and we finally officially make Deathstroke an official Batman villain because that's really his son's real dad. But we ain't gonna get into that.
What I mean, Bane is just like Doomsday. He was a plot device created in the '90s to take out, somebody, and then.
But the addiction arc for Batman might be interesting because he's already addicted to the vigilantism.
Yeah. Just like the Denny O'Neil one. Yeah.
And a great shout out to Denny O'Neil. He had that would be amazing.
Who knows what they'll do? I mean, we'll see if they even do a Batman 2.
Oh no, it's already in the works. It's been greenlit. It was greenlit before this movie even made the box office. He literally has script. He's working on the second movie script right now.
Well, I mean,
there will always be a Batman movie. Don't you worry. It doesn't matter if it's Affleck. It doesn't matter if it's Pattinson. It will always be a Batman story.
There will be a Batman movie long after we're dead.
Fair enough. I guess my only thought was just like, I guess they did eventually make Ezra Miller's film. It's
still not out. That's
sort of my thing on it. It's like, it's like, just because they greenlight a film doesn't mean they've greenlit a film, Because that's the thing about green lights. They turn to red just as easily. You can red light a film.
Well, we've been on a yellow light for The Flash for like 6 years, so
exactly. It's a very long yellow.
Hey, Lilith, did you see that Easter egg, or you might even saw it on the list of Easter eggs? Did you see who that kid was in that street gang in the beginning? What?
Was it Duke?
No, the actors. It was the kid who played Tim Drake in this last season of Titans.
Oh, okay.
So because there was some article they're like, yeah, even when they were shooting Titans, even the people he was shooting Titans with didn't know he was in the Batman movie.
There's a lot of cool like non-Easter eggs too. So.
Yeah.
Oh, Russell had feedback, right?
Oh, that's right.
After we give our letter grades, we can let Russell give his feedback. How long is that feedback?
Well, I mean, like I said, it's written, so it's.
Oh, it's written? He didn't even bother to send a voicemail. Rude, Russell.
I know.
I kid. We love all kinds of.
You have to get all of his thoughts in order. Cut the guy some
rub that one in.
Never give Russell a break.
Wild like an animal.
All right, so yes, let's do letter grades. Should we start at the? I know it's going to be the lowest grade, the Lilith Hellfire.
Okay, it's a C+. C is in cat woman.
Oh, nice.
It's average. It didn't need to be that long. Didn't need to be that long. There's a lot of questionable things going on in that movie. I prefer a good, healthy blend of Bruce Wayne and Batman, not just the Batman. So, come on, get your head out of your butt, buddy. And like Robert Pattinson can act. He actually can act. Let the boy act. I'm tired of silent acting. I'm just saying.
Oh my. Okay, Charlie, what was your grade?
And here's what I'm going to say. What I liked about it is I felt like the last hour was probably a really good film. The first 2 were mediocre film. But it was okay. It was like the kind of thing. I kind of feel like this is the kind of film, like if it comes on and you're doing laundry, you might leave it on. And eventually you're going to get to that good part. But it's not like there's a lot at that beginning that strongly draws you in. And again, it just feels like Batman makes so many rookie mistakes throughout it, which I guess is part of the growth process. Like just the fact that he sends Catwoman in and he's not near her. Like apparently he was back at the mansion doing the remote thing, which really struck me as weird because it's like, why does he not know that the DA is getting attacked right then? So like little things like that really ruined it for me. But like, if you get outside of that area, like the last hour of the film is really solid. You get a really good arc for Bruce, and I do say Bruce because I think that's where we get Bruce in the film. It's like, you get Batman in a Bruce suit through the first half of it, but by the end, it's Bruce Wayne in a bat suit. And I think that's what you really want to get to, where he understands he can do so much more than just be a vigilante. He can be someone who is going to be here to rebuild Gotham. And I think that's the Batman we want. That's the Batman that when we get the Batman 2, Electric Boogaloo, we'll get that fully realized Batman Bruce Wayne.
Oh, you mean the lesson at the end? Oh, maybe the rest of the world does need help from the rich. Who knew?
There you go. It took a while, but he got there, and so yeah, I give it a gentleman's B+.
Ooh.
He's a Hobbit man. I'll give him
Benefit
a
of the doubt, B+.
Yeah, I mean, there were little nitpicks, but might have to go with Charlie Esser's B+. I mean, I enjoyed this movie for the most part. I mean, would it have been a better movie if they had gotten rid of some of that stuff in the beginning and kind of like took all the stuff they packed into the end and spread it out more?
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember I didn't even like look at my watch, and like after they caught the Riddler, I'm like, oh, maybe it's almost over, and then we kept doing.
That's exactly when everybody started looking at their watch, bro.
I know, and
I saw everybody's phone.
And like, we're only halfway done.
I know. We
literally did that.
Then we get to the seawall stuff. I'm like, oh, we're still going. Okay. I mean, it didn't seem long to me, but I'm like, oh, we still got story. Okay. But I do like that scene of him like crashing through that skylight. The stadium. I thought that was a good visual.
Very Arrow. Very
Says
Arrow-esque.
Batman. I mean, Green Batman. So yeah, I got to agree with the B+. I enjoyed it for the most part. I would like to see a sequel.
Yeah,
I like Matt Reeves. I do.
I'm just happy.
It was great.
I don't remember being this excited about a Batman movie since at least The Dark Knight, with Heath Ledger.
The first two, yeah.
And here's what I'll say. I hope that in the next film, he can be a little bit more circumspect. Yeah, he can be a little more like, okay, I don't have to tell all of my story in one film. I did enough of a good film. Now I can actually make a shorter story. I can build to a trilogy. I can build to more of a story. And maybe even have him start to build out his own little universe. Maybe have other characters coming into it.
Well, the whole TV show universe is his to do what he wants. So he's already got that.
Okay, well, great. Would be nice, Throw in a cyborg. We got lots of cyborgs. Cyborgs. Everyone gets a cyborg.
Although it did take $185 million to make. So I don't know. We'll see how it looks by the end of the theatrical run.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's my worry is that it's not going to have as much repeat viewing as, say, a shorter film.
Well, we'll see in 40 some days when it hits HBO Max too. So
yeah,
if the numbers are there.
Well, you'd only see,
and then also DVD home sales.
Yeah, I think that
yeah. I
comes
mean,
out.
there are places.
Yeah.
There's always places. As Disney will tell you, Dick Tracy made money. But did it make enough money? No, it did not. It was
because it's Batman. If it doesn't by the end of the year, when that reporting comes due, if it's not $1 billion, it's not a hit for them. So
really, yeah, because it is Batman.
Because you look at Marvel and like, come on, man, Thor can make $1 billion, really? Captain Marvel can make $1 billion, really?
Well, really, and yeah, there's no reason for Batman not to make $1 billion. I think Batman might, Like I said, I think if it was the shorter film, it probably would. I think
since the pandemic, I think the goal marker is more like 650 million, but still.
Well, again, I think it's like you said, exactly like you said, Lilith. It's gonna hit $1 billion, but not as quickly as like say Spider-Man did.
Yeah.
So.
But that hurts you, because no one wants to know that by the next year we got out of the black. They want to know we got our profits
with
this
the Discovery merger. This had to be a surefire smash, and you can't keep leaning on the pandemic. You just can't do it. People are out and about in a lot of places, so that excuse is null and void.
And Spider-Man did it. Shang-Chi did it.
Exactly.
Shang-Chi.
Now, Eternals might have not done it, but Shang-Chi did
it. I'm just saying, like in the long term, it's. You have to say, well, what was our potential?
But we're very disenfranchised at DC, so I think we have lowered our expectations. So,
But again, Batman's a household word. I mean, if anyone's going to see a superhero movie,
Yeah,
it's
but
gonna be-
like you said, your theater wasn't crowded. My theater wasn't crowded.
But again, we went
actually, I watched the crowd before me. It's not a lot of buzz for a Batman movie online. I'm just saying.
Well, one, we went to the 11:30 in the morning movie, so I didn't expect that to be overly packed. But two, at my theater, there was a showing literally from 11:30 in the morning to 11 at night every half an hour. So I don't know if there was just so many
Yeah, that was
showings.
just what they did with Spider-Man.
The crowd got spread out because there were so many showings. Yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think a lot of people want to have multiple showings so that it's not going to be crowded.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. If you go online, because you buy online now, and you see, oh wow, all 4 of those seats in that row are packed.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not going to go to that one. What's the next one?
Or you can be a bad person like me and get the handicap seats, which you will move if somebody handicap comes in. But I'm just saying.
It's not for
life pro tip.
It's not for mental issues, Lilith Hellfire.
Oh, yeah, you can get the placard, but yeah. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. If you have a real issue where you can't have people sitting next to you, you can probably get a placard for it. I'm just saying.
I was gonna say, Lilith, you could walk in there with your 20 dogs and say they're service dogs.
I was just tempted to take the husky. She's the only one that's quiet enough.
Yeah, you need to have you can usually only
She's got
have
a vest.
service animal.
Oh my!
As long as they behave. I mean, I think if you buy the husky a ticket,
Oh yeah, there's
that's
looking for money these days. As long as you buy that dog a ticket,
you buy that dog a ticket, and he behaves, and he sits in the seat next to you. Don't none of this sitting on the floor.
She does. Like the theater that I love to go to has the reclining, like basically couch, like the 2 seats basically form a couch, and they recline all the way back. She's a couch dog. She would have said nothing. She's like, just give me some popcorn. We're good.
3 hours probably slept through some of it.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So
let's get that feedback.
All right. So Russell Moran from the Tomes of Evil podcast said, all right, yeah, first thing, sorry, no audio this time. Over the past few years, I've been disgruntled with Batman. Preach. The Tom King run bored me, the oversaturation nauseated me, and the direction of doing an even darker, grittier movie has me rolling my eyes. I'm happy to say this movie not only surpassed my expectations, it reinvigorated my love of Batman. You and Ray. First off, the score is incredible. Batman's new theme is a banger, and I found myself listening to the score and something in the way. It's something in the way. They're on it while I'm working. While this movie is dark and gritty, it somehow feels more comic booky than the Nolan trilogy did. There's some amazing references and Easter eggs in there, but I'll just hush my mouth about that.
Tommy Elliott.
The reporter was what, Edward Elliott, which is like his grandfather and great grandfather. I loved how it was a noir horror film. Batman was a boogeyman, something we haven't seen done super successfully since the beginning of 1989. He was imposing. He was scary. The supporting cast was great. Gordon, Riddler, Selina, and Penguin were all performed very well. Could have used more Alfred. Anybody who said this movie didn't have humor didn't see the same movie I watched. It has lots of humor, just not MCU humor. Love the homage to Halloween. Horror fans will know the scene. But the main thing I loved was that despite being a dark and dreary film, the movie featured a scene that actually moved me. Batman was not infallible. He actually learned a huge lesson in this, and his arc paid off fantastically. He realized the error of his tactics and pivoted into being so much more than a dark knight, but a true hero. While the ending sets up things to come, it also surprisingly was full of hope, and I love that. Gotham, its people, and the viewers needed hope. Matt Reeves understands Batman better than Nolan, Snyder, or even Burton. I'm excited to see more.
Well, he's also not as eccentric, so he's a lot more easy to deal with and take notes because he's not really a comic book guy, but he is a great director. Like I said, Planet of the Apes, the last 2 movies, I cannot recommend. If you haven't seen those, the whole trilogy is really good, but he comes in and directs the last 2, and it's just chef's kiss. Especially after that Tim Burton remake. Chef's kiss.
By the way, one thing I did want to point out, there's 2 things that actually I really found very interesting in here, is that when we first hear that narration, I was not sure if we were listening to the Riddler or Batman talking.
Ooh.
And I found that was Yeah, I know. It was very ambiguous at the start of that film whether or not we're following the Riddler or Batman.
Maybe it was
Like
intentional
the
that
guy
way.
on the motorcycle with the hoodie pulled, is that the Riddler? Is that because they're always coming in and out of the same scene? So that I found interesting. And the other thing
Yeah,
I
that
really
they
just
made
got
Penguin in the foil instead of Riddler because Riddler's supposed to be Penguin's supposed to be the one with the money. So really, that's usually how they like kind of played the Penguin as like his foil in that aspect. But they made Riddler the orphan, from the other side of the tracks, the opposite. So I thought that was kind of cool too.
And this is what I have to say, that my favorite aspect of this is they brought back a chunky Alfred. And I'm so happy to have an Alfred with a little bit of a body on him. Not that rail thin Alfred that they are always pushing us in the comic books, but a good old traditional chunky Alfred. I like that.
Oh, one more thing. I was kind of bummed that they said he had no next of kin. I was like, he has a niece. Her name is Julia.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe we'll find that out later.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's gonna be something he has.
Maybe
he got blown up.
Maybe Bruce just never really asked him that deeply.
And for a guy,
do you know your butler's last name?
Exactly.
And for a guy who's smart enough to do all those encryptions and stuff, if you see one of those packages and you see it says, "Oh, hey, to the Batman," just like every other.
He was hungover from one of his fancy bachelor parties. Okay,
I guess, but I'm like, why would you?
Look,
open
he
it?
had the other lady there, Dory. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the basic problem with sometimes where you have plot required stupidity of characters so that the movie can happen.
Well, we had to get Alfred out of the way temporarily, so Bruce would have to go to Carmine.
I thought they were going to kill him because they killed him in the comics while he was writing the script. So I was really super nervous.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
I will not watch another one of these movies. I refuse.
Although
Alfred, I took it that they did kill Alfred there. I mean, I know they show him throw it, but I was like, oh yeah, okay. I was actually fully expecting that. It's like, oh okay, because that's going to be the big moment. That's where he realizes he's got to get his head out of his butt because now he's lost, someone he truly loves again. But it was nice that he wasn't dead, and we got those scenes there. Though again, how is like the Riddler not coming back just after the first one fails? Why does he just let it go? It's like, well, it didn't work out exactly the way I wanted it to. I'm just not even going to try to kill Bruce.
You saw how he lost his marbles when Batman was like, immediately, no, we're not a thing. We're not a team. He just fell apart. So, that kind of tracks for me. He's a very fragile, emotional man.
And what about that fake out? What about that fake out at the end where it seemed like he knew Bruce was Batman, but then he didn't?
Well, he does. That's the thing, because we know. What's the answer to a riddle that everyone knows? What is it worth? What is it worth?
Nothing. Yeah.
A friend. Oh no. No. What is more valuable the less you have is a friend.
Oh yeah.
The fewer friends you have, the more valuable the ones you do have are.
No, but that goes back to something they said in when the Riddler actually did find out.
Yeah, at the end of the Hush storyline, the Riddler figured it out. Bruce is Batman, and Batman's like, "Well, you're not going to tell anybody because what's a riddle worth that everyone knows the answer to? Nothing." Then a few years later, they gave him the case of amnesia.
Give him the old Osborn.
Good old Bamnesia, just bam him on the head, and they don't remember nothing no more.
Hit him over the head with a crisis.
And on that note,
at least Otto had the good decency to make a deal with the devil to have his mind erased. So
true. All right, kids. So send your thoughts as you go to see the movie, because I know some people haven't seen it yet. So I don't know why you're listening to this spoiler-filled podcast. We haven't seen the movie yet.
We didn't really spoil a lot, to be honest.
No, not a ton. No,
I mean, really. Well,
we were good.
I will say this: most of the theories I had heard prior to this all fell apart. Matt Pat was wrong. Screen Crush was wrong. Matt
Pat had to be wrong. So.
Yeah, well, he was good on the Joker. He was good on the Joker, and I think he got filled with a lot of.
Well, he knew that. That was actually a spoiler from months ago. Because that's the same kid that was in Eternals.
No. I meant he was right about on the Joker movie, how he figured out how the Joker movie would play out. He did something similar with the Batman, and he was just completely off on everything.
There is no film theory. There is only food theory when it comes to Matt Pat for me.
But can I say I don't care who plays the Joker,
Oh,
but
you
thank
should do
God.
a food theory on the Bat Pizzone.
Do you think we had to throw the Joker in at the end of this movie just so people would
I think
shut
it was
up?
mandatory, personally.
So people would
he
shut
really
up
said
about.
he didn't want to.
So people would shut up about Joaquin Phoenix being this.
Well, he's getting a Joker too, so that's weird.
Yeah.
But and to be fair, nothing in this precludes. Nothing in this actually precludes either Joaquin Phoenix being a part of this, because they even said, Mayor Thomas Wayne was tragically killed 20 years ago when he too was running for mayor. So it's
and
like
that was still the
they
thing in the Joker. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was still, so it was all tied in. I don't know if it was Halloween when it happened there, but who knows, and who really even remembers or cares. The fact of the matter is that nothing prevents these universes from joining at some point. Even the timeline doesn't even make that much of a question.
They still had a Joker gang, so what sense does that make? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And you can say, well, they were seeing Zorro the Gay Blade, and that was from the 80s, but time means nothing in these films. I just think they did that intentionally to be a joke at Disney, since Disney made Zorro the Gay Blade, and it was a great way to ping what Disney does with a Dark Knight character and what
he's going to kill the Batman.
Yes,
that
Moon Knight.
Yes,
but he's not a Batman ripoff. Shut up, Lil.
I would love to see.
Doug Mix said it's true, so screw you.
I just want to see. I want to see Moon Knight in a plum costume and a orange costume and sort of a lime costume.
Go ahead, throw it in.
All right, kids. So send your thoughts on the movies. Next week, Lilith and I will be talking Detective Comics Annual 2, and I'm sure the 20 new Bat books that come out. So Lilith, there's more Batman books next week. So email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can follow We Are the Night, the Batman podcast on Facebook, on Twitter. Join the Batman fan group on Facebook. Find links to all the various shows we do, the DC and Marvel shows on the Capes and Lunatics and the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks, including Super Connectivity or Capes and Lunatics.
And full stream ahead with Maz Manzor.
That's right. Find links to the YouTube channel. Every one of these episodes, every one of our episodes gets a video.
I forgot. They gotta do the.
Oh my! What?
You're number one, Phil.
Why the YouTube? I said the YouTube.
I know. You gotta do it for the YouTube.
Oh, okay, yeah. The YouTube channel. See Lilith Hellfire. Tell me I'm number one. Again, most importantly, if you can please subscribe to the Patreon. Once again, we don't come from money.
We're just poor orphans looking for our renewal fund.
So if you can't subscribe to the Patreon, $3 to $5 gets you early access to creator interviews. Mr. DG Chichester is here every month talking to me and Lil.
Chichester,
and Patreon only superhero movie brackets. We're gonna find the worst superhero movie. So tune in for that. Subscribe. It's still early on. There's time to catch up. So find the link to that, or Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merchandise.
Because it's nobody's business.
Oh, by the way, I have to say this. These cups are so incredible. I put a cold beverage. We won't ask what the beverage was, but I will put a cold beverage in here at night. Fall asleep while drinking it. Wake up in the morning. Beverage is still icy cold. These are good freaking cups.
Great for apple juice.
Whatever juice you're drinking.
Well, if we get that website up, we need Charlie Esser quotes for this. This merchandise is great.
T-shirt is so comfy.
T-shirt is comfortable, and they come in larger sizes for the amply proportioned gentleman or lady.
Comfortable. All right, so if you want your own merchandise or any of the other things I mentioned, check it out at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. All right, Lilith Hellfire, before you head north to Bloodhaven, where can people get a hold of you?
If you want to race me on my motorcycle out of the city, you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire, on Instagram at Lilith Hellfire69, and of course on TikTok, making all the comments. Your post is probably next at Lilith Hellfire69. Oh, you don't want to know the things I've done. Let me get a ride on your alligator back, bro.
Charlie Esser.
Well, you can always write to me in the old-fashioned email way that our mothers and fathers once did at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. Of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet things when I feel like it at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz.
I love that. Charlie's just like, follow my Twitter so you can follow the live tweets when I decide to give you one.
I want to, but then I'm just tired.
Legends is done. I'm so sad. I don't know what to do with myself. They just
Is it done? I thought there was one more.
The season's
We're
over. Yeah,
getting
the
one
season's
more?
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I missed. So I got to go watch the booster. I thought that was the next one. So, see.
It happens at the end naturally. We don't know if they're getting a season 8 yet. They haven't said it, so fingers crossed.
Oh, you've all been on a cliffhanger.
Well, they got it
When
because
did
they
the
brought
first
in
time?
Booster Gold.
I
You
know.
don't just bring out a Booster Gold.
Well, they
Wrap
also
up.
made Booster Gold spoilers black, so we'll see how that works out.
We'll wrap it up. If they don't,
We'll see how that works out.
If they don't get it next season, we'll wrap it up the last season of The Flash.
But now they can say
Exactly.
it's racism that they didn't get in the next season.
Exactly.
Oh. All right.
Nate
kids.
Zano's gone though, so
Thank you for joining us. Join us next time, same bad time.
same bat channel.
We are the
We
night.
are the night. The Batman podcast. Vengeance is dead. I'm sorry.
It's on a t-shirt. Can't it's nice and
Well, it
comfy.
should be.